another technique I want to teach you about today is what I was just working on. That was palm muting. So, what's the difference between a regular strum and a palm mute? So just like the name suggests, we're using the palm of our hand to mute the strings slightly. So we've talked a little bit about muting the strings with our left hand, right? We use dead strokes all the time. Like one famous example, probably the most famous example of dead strokes, is Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit. Right? Muting with the left hand. Well, there's another technique that we can work on for muting, and that's muting with the right hand, and we use our palm for that. So what we want to do here is, instead of muting entirely, like we've worked on a little bit with the left hand, we just want to mute slightly to give a kind of chunky, rhythmic feeling to our guitar playing. So we can do that on chords too. So like for blues, that you use a lot of palm muting with blues and stuff. It's just a good technique to know and to start getting started on. So what I want to do is just practice. Let's go to our E chord. And we're going to practice muting with our palm. So what you want to do for starters, know that this is your bridge, right? This is where, like for this open E string, the string is vibrating between the nut, since it's open, and the bridge. So what we want to do is start to kind of sneak a mute onto this bridge to prevent it from ringing. If we go too far, we'll mute it completely. But if we can just put a little bit of a mute on it, we'll get that chunky rhythmic feeling. So go to fret your E chord, your E major, and what we want to do is start with our hand on the bridge. So we're going to use the heel of our hand, kind of mount it on our bridge, but we're not going to touch the strings yet. We're just going to practice strumming all the strings while the heel of our hand is touching the bridge. And then what I want you to do is, as you strum, sneak your hand closer up the neck, but just until you start to feel that chunky sound. So if you just do a single strum, you should still hear the strings ring. They shouldn't immediately cut out, right? That's too much. Too much hand on the strings. We just want enough that we're muting slightly. And what you might find that it's easier to mute the bottom three strings, the E, A, and D, than it is to get your hand all the way down to mute those top three strings. So play around with this a little bit. Like I said, the way to do this is to start your hand way back on the bridge, heel of your hand even with the bridge, and just practice strumming and sneaking your hand forward a little bit until you get that rhythmic sound, muted rhythmic sound, and there's your palm mute. And what I was doing in the beginning, I was playing the verse of that song by Smashing Pumpkins that I can't remember the name of right now. But I was slowly unpalm muting. Bullet with Butterfly Wings, that's the name of that song. So by kind of sneaking my hand back after I've palm muted, I can crescendo the sound so it sounds like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger until I'm unpalm muted and just hitting it full out. So this technique can be used for a lot. If you start to listen, you'll probably find that it's used more than you never even noticed it, but it's probably in many of your favorite songs. But try it out, see what you can do with it. Like I said, start with your hand on the bridge, sneak it forward, then sneak it back, and try to find that sweet spot. And eventually, you'll lock that sweet spot in your brain, and every time you want to palm mute, just go to it automatically. And your hand will feel how much vibration the strings are giving it, and you'll feel where the sweet spot is. So have fun with this. It's another great technique that needs to be on your radar.